Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Micro Motor Meetup. Yes, I made up yet another name because I'm changing things around a little bit. Apologies to those of you who are watching live that I'm a little late again because, as usual, with setting up stuff, new problems arise. I'll talk a little bit about the back end later if you guys are keen. A few things though stayed the same, and that is the way you can participate. Found some new way though to display it. You can join the conversation by going to Discord or to Zoom. Links down there in the little display here on the bottom. I skipped the bit.ly link, so you need to type in, be quick, capture it off the screen, and type it into your browser or Zoom or Discord apps to join the conversation. So I want to turn this regular weekly event into a little bit more like a news event and make an effort to put my other content into a little more structured form, especially the educational content. As I mentioned in the last couple of streams, I plan to do a lot more on the educational side. We have a few large projects coming up, and I also want to make sure that I can share the content that we're producing for that with a broader audience. But at the same time, I also want to keep up the weekly chats because I'm really enjoying to catch up with you guys lives in the various chat and video conferencing rooms. So if you want to hop onto any of the chats, ask me or my guests on stage any questions, you can do that either in the YouTube chat room, as Mr. Props FPV has currently done as the only one. So if you're watching this live, just chuck something into the chat so I can see you there. Welcome, Props FPV. Things are great. I'm having good fun here, although I'm being a bit put back by various crashes. I would have been on time. I really got onto the blower early today to get things going. But then, things crashed. I haven't found out yet why, so I have opened as few windows as I could. And yeah, those of you who know me know that's hard for me. I like to open up as many windows as possible to get as many things going at the same time. My desktop looks a little crazy at the moment. I'm using a new type of software and all sorts of stuff to be piped into this live stream. I thought I can pull it off. It's an i7 quad core with 64 gigabyte of RAM and a very fast SSD drive. But yeah, something fell into the gears again, and so that's why I hope it lasts for this hour of live streaming here. As usual, I also do have the Discord chat. Let me see, can I press the right button for this? Discord is on number 4. So, oh damn, wrong one. So no one's on the Discord chat yet. So if you want to put this here down into your browser or into your Discord client, or if you're a regular, because the advantage of this Discord chat is that it's permanent across streams, so it remains the same. Once logged in, you can stay on that channel and also chat in between the streams. And finally, if you want to talk to me live in the video chat, let me dig the right button out of here, then you can do that as well. Currently live on stage here, my good old buddy Chet, aka Foamy Ninja. Hello, how are you today? Let's see if your audio is piped properly. Please say hello.
Yeah, I'm doing well so far. How you doing?
Whatever that was,
Can you hear me alright?
I think it worked. I'm not sure what you're doing, Chat, but it sounds pretty interesting. Sounds like you are using some sort of a voice encoder, but looking at your face, I'm not sure if you're doing this intentionally. That reminds me back in the days where I was using my, um, not sure what it's called, but yeah, pitch shifter to make my sound or voice sound all crazy, and was streaming for an hour with a super low voice. Yeah, so if that was intentionally, that was funny. Crank it up a little bit so we can at least understand you. If not, go and fix it. Um,
Yeah, I think something might be slightly wrong.
Also, it's a little bit delayed, so whatever you're using, fix it, my friend. So um, today's topic, as I said, I want to turn this a little bit more into a sort of news show to just catch you guys up who are watching the channel on the things I'm doing, because there's so much stuff happening that I can't even post and chat about at the various places. Um, so um, what I want to talk about today is, amongst lots of other topics, a bunch of new props. So some of you might recognize this funny little symbol here. That is what GemFan has recently come up with. One of the GemFan sales reps messaged me 2 or 3 weeks ago and said, "Do you want to stock some props?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Send me everything you have. I'm interested in everything that's below 70 millimeters diameter." And they sent me a huge bucket of stuff, and I was sifting through it and put various things on the thrust stand. And these two sizes here intrigued me the most. These are 31 and 40 millimeter props, and if you're into tiny whooping or into any micro quads, these sizes might tell you something. So for the longest time, everything on 31 millimeter has kind of been a clone of the original Inductrix props. Nothing much has changed. There have been one or two attempts of making things a little different. For example, TBS has brought out a couple of props a while ago. They were relatively expensive. They looked a little different. Quite a few people have been quite excited about them. I haven't so much. I didn't notice any difference in performance either on the thrust stand or in the air. And then quite a few other brands of props have come out, and a lot of them had issues with not being balanced properly, not sitting properly on the hub, etc., or breaking very quickly. Some of you might remember the WTF props, where you could just flick them and the blades would fall off. So that's why I'm really happy to announce that these props work awesome, look awesome, and the price is nice. So another thing that I really like from a reseller perspective is that their shipping is crazy fast. I just said to the dude on Facebook, "Yep, send me some," and like 3 days later or something, and I'm in the middle of the jungle here. It takes a while usually for stuff from China to turn up in the treehouse, but this time I was really fast. I really had to check back, and so wow, that was fast. Literally took 3 days from me saying, "Yep, send me some for a big box to turn up here." So that means I can stock stuff really quickly if we run out of stock. And let me get into the details. What I actually wanted to show you is some footage of me sitting up on the deck and putting them on the thrust stand, but I haven't finished editing the video yet and running Final Cut on top of Zoom, Discord, YouTube, and my live streaming software, which if we have time at the end of the hour, I still drop some info as well because I'm really excited about it. Running Final Cut on top of that and scrubbing through stuff, that seems to have killed my computer on multiple occasions. So I'm just going to report on this. These props here, at first, they look awesome. I like slightly transparent stuff, not only for the looks, but also for, let's say quality control purposes, because if you have ever been involved in producing plastic parts of some sort, you might have come across the fact that clear or white or bright plastic allows for much easier quality control than dark, especially black plastic, because they can't hide burning and other issues that can arise during the prop production or plastic molding process. So that's why I was really happy to see those clear props. They are really rigid, so it takes some effort to bend them permanently, and it takes a serious effort. I couldn't get it done by hand to actually break off a blade. But what might excite most of you, they actually provide, according to my flying and my bench tests, a around 10% thrust increase, or put it other way around, a 10% less power usage while producing the same thrust. So these props are available in 31 millimeter and a little larger if you're flying 75 millimeter whoops of some sort. They are also available in 40 millimeter. So I got them in a variety of configurations. Gemfan makes them with different size hub and different blade counts. I've settled on 4 different configurations, and you can check them out on my website. Let me pull it up for you. So if you go to micromotorwarehouse.com and put Gemfan into the search bar, then you come to, where do I have it? This is the wrong one. Why does it not show up here? Set the browser source to, I gotta change that to here, and then I should be able to bring it up by pressing this button. Here we go. Looks a little bit mangled through the distortion filter. I can put this up on full screen for you here. So put Gemfan into the search on micromotorwarehouse.com, and you see both of them here. The smaller one, 31 millimeter, is the Gemfan 1220, is available in with 2 different hubs. 0.8 millimeter hub, I've ordered them in blue, and 1 millimeter hub in red, and same here for the 1636 1 millimeter, which is the smaller one. In this case is blue, and 1.5 millimeter is red. So the 0.8 mil, they fit on to the 7 by 16 millimeter and 6 by 50 millimeter brushed motors. 1 millimeter fits on some 7 by 16 millimeters and on most 08, 02 brushless motors. And then the 1636 1 millimeter fits onto 8 by 20 and 8.5 by 20 millimeter coreless motors, and the 1.5 millimeter hub version fits onto most brushless motors that are mounted on 75 millimeter whoops. If you have any questions on that stuff, post them into the chat. So I'm just looking at the chat room, at the YouTube chat, and John Wagner does not give up. He is really keen on 10, 20 millimeter motors. Sorry, buddy, it's Chinese New Year and we didn't get the production run done before Chinese New Year, so it'll probably be a little later. As some of you know, workers in China, they well, everyone in China has a holiday. This year, Chinese New Year is from February 1st to February 11th. And as it is in the industrial zones, they're pretty much evacuated during that. Everyone goes back to their families. And after that, a lot of people decide to pick up a different job or just, stay back in the good old home country. So that's why a lot of Chinese manufacturing have issues getting their production up on after Chinese New Year. That usually leads to some delays. But I appreciate your persistence, John Wagner, and I'm sorry for not answering all your other messages that you're sending me on every possible channel you can find. Good on ya, buddy. So quick look at the Discord chat room. Who's up there? Oh, I see some of my good old friends posting up there. So let me find the right button to pop that on the screen here. Madman is here saying those look not like nice props. Reminds me of the good old clear Hudson blades. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking as well. And as some of you might remember, those have been some tough suckers. You could mow the grass with them and they would turn green transparent, but they would not break. So you're asking me how's the weight on those compared to other 4-blade props. I haven't checked that, but they feel pretty light to me. I will do that later and put them on the scale, include the weight on the website. That's a good idea. So you're saying today and right now is the Super Bowl in the US, just so you know, that could be impacting participation today. All right, for everyone who is still, despite the Super Bowl, currently on this little live stream here, I appreciate that. And if not, you can watch it as a recorded version on YouTube as well. So yeah, John, I love you too. So let's move on. I do have a few left of the elusive, unfortunately, parrot props. So if you want to have some of them, it's time to hop on that, because these will be the last of them, and I will never stock them ever again. It's been a huge pain in the tuchus to acquire those props for the longest time. It's always been like that, but Parrot has finally given them the boot and told us that we will never be able to order them again. So if you want to have some of the very last, I just discovered, or we have cleaned up inventory in Europe, that there's a few red ones left, and we still have a bunch of the whites left. So if you want to have some of the awesome performance-wise Parrot props, 66 or 65 millimeter, depending on how accurate you are with measuring them, a 1 millimeter hub, 2 blades, excellent performance on especially 8.5 by 20 and 7 by 20 millimeter coreless motors, then hop on them quickly. I know they're expensive, but at $7 a set, after fees and taxes and everything else I'm paying for running the shop, I'm still losing money. So if you want to grab some of my cost, hop on there quickly. This will be the last couple of sets that we have. When we run out of them, then it's done. And I hope that GemFan will make something comparable. In the huge box that I've spoken of earlier, there also have been included a bunch of very similar looking props. Unfortunately, they have not performed as nicely as the parrot props, so I've just been complaining to GemFan a little bit, but haven't ordered any of them. As soon as we run out of parrot props, that's been it with 60 something millimeter props until GemFan or someone else makes something comparable. So in the chat room, I need to rename my sources properly. In the chat room, props FPV is asking 0.8 millimeter for 6 millimeter motors. Yes, exactly. All 6 millimeter cordless motors that I have ever seen have 0.8 millimeter or 0.75 millimeter shafts. So you need the smaller hubbed version of the 1220 motors to go on 6 millimeter. PK Stefan says yes, and Props FB says cheers. Need some for a toothpick build, says PK Stefan. You mean parrot props? What's a toothpick build? Never heard that. Send us a link if you want, my friend. Moving on. Something sad happened last week. I was talking to a teacher who asked me to provide him with a bunch of parts for his upcoming projects in his engineering classes for, I think, high school students. And I offered him a whole bunch of micro quad builds, kits, and also a whole bunch of my favorite radios of all times, which is the Jumper T8SG V2 Plus. I've been talking about this radio many times. I'm using a bunch of them for my own purposes. I've hacked them, programmed them, talked about them for a long time now. Well, not that long, but many times. And when I went to place another order with Jumper, they told me that they are discontinued and I can't get any more. So if you want one of them, I'm sure Banggood has a bunch of them left on the shelves as well. I do have around 10 or so left. If you want to grab one of us, go to micromotorwarehouse.com, put in T8SG, or it's also on the front page, and check out the last few of them. I think I have 3 left in Australia and around 7 left in the US. So you got to be quick. They won't last long. Sadly, no more. I was offered some of the T8 standard version. Not happy with too much with those. And as Props FPV just said in the chat room, he has just started using the T12 Plus, and that's exactly what I'm going to move to. It's very much the same radio from the outside. It's black though. I don't mind black either, even though I was quite happy with the yellow. But yes, we are going to be moving to the T12 Plus. It has the same gimbals, the same screen, but it is running OpenTX, which I'm not too sad about, but I have to say I really enjoyed Deviation TX mainly because it's so easy to program, but the main reason for that is because it's so easy to share the model files. Just connect it over USB, hit the USB storage button, and you can copy and import files. So yeah, sad news on this. We are moving to the T12 Plus. So if you want to have one of these radios, be quick. They're awesome. I have one for myself and 2 backups in case something happens to them. You can get the gimbals separately if they break. And yeah, that's it. And yes, props FPV, you can run Crossfire on the T12. I haven't seen much use for that yet, but I might get into that as well. So my time says there's around 17 minutes left. I have a few more items on my news list. First one is we are going to set up some regular Rotor Rush events. If you don't know what Rotor Rush is, then you may go to rotorrush.com and have a look around. It is, what's that description somewhere here? Join today, live community simulator. Rotor Rush is a subscription-based simulator, and it has some very realistic tiny whoop models and courses in there. I enjoyed playing or flying it a lot over the last couple of weeks, and I've reached out to the developers of that and set myself up with a so-called Rotor Rush Cloud account, which means I can run esport events, and we will be running regular, weekly, maybe even more often events. And I'm pretty excited about the possibilities, the technical and social and business opportunities coming of that, because as it's not really obvious on the website, but after talking to the people who are making this piece of software, it's actually running on the Unreal Engine, and I'm a big fan of that engine since back in the 90s, I believe, where we've been shooting ourselves on Unreal Tournament, and that's the same piece of underlying framework that this piece of simulator is programmed on, and it's running on the Google Cloud for the backend. So I expect some stellar performance from the simulator and also from the backend. And I've seen some pretty cool live streams already because you can assign roles for moderators, commentators, broadcasters, etc. And yeah, I'm excited for that. So if you want to race us on Rotor Rush, then get yourself set up. Works awesome, by the way, with the jumper radios. Just connect it and you have a gamepad in the sim. Yeah, I'll probably set up a model file also for the T12. Currently, I only have model files for the T8. Works great, and yeah, I think we will have a lot of fun with that. So I'll probably be posting event reminders and streams also on this channel, just to get a little bit of participation up. So Pedro is in the chat room as well, and he's saying he's bending over for the man. Have fun, whatever that means, Pedro. I hope it's fun for you as well. So another piece of news that I want to share with you, if you're in Australia or if you want to come to Australia, that is the fpvr.org, that is the Aussie Open 2019. Yes, we're doing it again. It was awesome last year, so we're gonna make it even more awesome this year. So if you go to fpvr.org/events, then it's currently the last one scheduled here for March 8th, 2019, 9 a.m. Where does it say where exactly the dates? I think it's going over 3 days. So March 8th, I think, is the Friday or the Saturday. We are setting up there on the Thursday already, and then the event is going over 2 or 3 days. It's again same location as last year, the Mowbray Park, Barker's Lodge Road in Picton, New South Wales, a little bit south of Sydney. We're going to have accommodation on site. Currently there's 22 registered pilots. We will have regular, open racing. You can bring anything from 3 to 5 inch. Well, I think you can fly whatever you want to. But yeah, 3 to 5 inch seems to be most competitive. Some pretty fast racers already have signed up for this. So yeah, that's going to be some serious racing. We're also going to have X-Class, huge quads racing, and we're also going to have a indoor race that's going to be happening every night. So we have some exciting formats coming up, regular whoop racing, but also some fun and games, challenges, team challenges, and yeah, an open party every night. So if you're in Australia or if you want to come along, this is the event that you should not miss. So that's it for my news items of the day. I also made up another interesting digital venue that I will be talking about more in the future. I'm looking for test candidates for that and also for contributors. As I mentioned in the beginning of the stream and as I've been talking about many times, this is the year where I really want to crack down on organizing my content better to make it easier to access, especially for beginners, and also to be able to provide that content to educators and teachers who want to teach their students about technology by using micro drones, microcopters, FPV, etc. And by the way, this reminds me, there is an event that, how do I get there, which is happening on, oh no, this is the wrong one. How do I get there? I gotta take my browser off for a sec and search through my inbox to find the link to an event. If you are in Sydney or close by, then come on, let me search for it. There's an interesting event coming up on Wednesday. Come on, open up. Wednesday, 6th of February 2019 from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Find the right button here again. Where's my browser? Right here. So the World of Drones Education, organized by our friend Dr. Catherine Ball. So if you're interested in education around drones, then just put that into your browser, Worlds of Drone Education in Sydney. It's on 6th of February 2019. And I'll be there as well with a bunch of my friends. So if you want to hang out and chat before or after, then please come along. I've heard there's also a couple other fun old school hip hop events around in the area right afterwards. So we might hang out a little longer if there's a few more people hanging around. It's in the Amazon building, 2 Park Street, right in the middle of Sydney. So, which brings me to the topic that I actually want to talk about, education. I have made up my own little online school, which is called the FPV Academy. I've given it a new home on Teachable. I've been searching the internet up and down, left and right for a so-called LMS learn managing platform, and I've decided to use Teachable. There's already two little courses up there, one held by me and one held by my aspiring junior scientist, by my son Leon. So I'm looking for test students for that. So if you want to help me out fine-tuning this, then please hit me up. And also what you might already see here, let me bring this up a little larger. Where is the right button? Button number 2. So it does feature, it does allow to not only to create courses on my behalf. How do I get this here out of the way? Remove this thing here so you can see it. No, why not? 3D browser, make it scroll down. Yep, like this. So as you can see on the bottom here, it has my name, or you can't see my cursor on this, and then it has my son's name here. So if you click on that, you can see a biography of that instructor. And so the platform allows me to also invite other instructors to hold courses on my school. So if you know something cool, if you want to share your expertise, then I invite you to be part of the crew and contact me to work together so we can create some awesome content that we can get out there and share with as many people as possible. So yeah, that's been it. An hour goes past quickly. Well, I started late this time, so there was 15 minutes missing in the beginning. Sorry for not giving you much of a word, Chad, but if you're interested to say something, I know that you've been listening, hanging out there. One of the main reasons I checked up the Zoom conference again today is because I wanted to test if something that I always wanted to do finally works, which is streaming simultaneously to Zoom and to YouTube. So let me use that quick chance at the last 5 minutes of the hour to talk about the software that I'm using here and then talk to you, Chat, as well. So get ready if you want to say something, put your words together and turn off the Darth Vader simulator. So for streaming today, which brought us all these nice extra doohickeys coming on the stream here, I'm using Mimo Live. And that allows me not only to pipe in many video inputs, but also pipe in many video outputs. So Chad, let me bring you up on screen, and then at first let me ask you if you could use the stream today to see what I'm doing live without the delay that YouTube introduces. Live on screen now, my friend, can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Is it better now?
You are still Darth Vader. If you can, turn it off because it's too crazy. I can't even understand you.
Is that one better perhaps?
No, it. It sounds funny. But it's too crazy. You need to turn up the pitch up a little bit so that we can understand you. So while you are trying to fix that, I'll have a last quick look into the two chat rooms to see who's been talking to us here. So Props FPV says, I will test anything you throw at my way. So then please send me a message over some way so I can, I need an email address from you. So ideally send me a message to let's say to info@fpv-academy.com and say that you want to be a test, not student, not student, but not pilot, but test student. Um, so um, also, if any one of you wants to contribute, then please hit me up under that email address as well, and we will make it happen. So PK Stefan says that it's raining in Tucson, kind of like Seattle. Currently, we again have awesome weather in the jungle. It's 32 degrees Celsius and almost wind still. Perfect conditions for the beach, perfect conditions to fly microquads. So apparently in Arizona it's raining as well. Yes, Leon has made some new videos. Adam, you're welcome to be a test student as well. Part of this new Learn Management Systems is also that there's a couple of quizzes that you need to do if you want to get the certificate at the end. So yeah, not completely finished yet with those, but the first two lessons already have quizzes. So if you want to be test student, please hit me up. Because Stefan says that he needs to fly inside today. So um, let's bring up the Zoom meeting again. First in the background, I see Foamy Ninja has disappeared off his. Oh no, he's back. Oh yeah. So give me a thumbs up if you fixed it, and then I bring you up and we have a quick chat before the end of the hour. Well, it's almost there, but yeah, I started 15 minutes late. So all right, thumbs down. Okay, go on. I'll have a look in if something's happening in the Discord chat, and let me bring this back up on the screen. Damn, I really need to assign more hotkeys. YouTube chat is going, and Discord chat, where is it? Zoom, YouTube chat. Oh, here, I need to rename my sources. I said this earlier, right? Madman says, I wish my PC could run RotorRush. It can't. I mean, you can just turn down the the graphic settings, and because it's running on the Unreal Engine, it can deal with quite low resource computers as well. As long as there's some sort of a GPU in there, you don't want to run everything on the CPU, then you should be fine. So as some of you might remember, a couple of weeks back, I've been embarrassing myself live by flying the simulator live and getting my butt whooped by a couple of you guys who are way better at flying than me, and one of you on like a real old PC turning the graphic settings all the way down. So Core 2 Duo PCs. That sounds kind of old, but you know, I remember playing Unreal Tournament on a 486 that we've built specifically to play games on that. So yeah, you know, you might have luck. Just, you know, try it, turn the graphic settings all the way down, and it might be good. So what's happening, chat? Did you turn the crazy voice off? All right, say something. No. It's how the heck did you do that? I spent so much time getting this to work, and you just happen to have this. I don't think it can be anything on my end. You have like a super low voice. Sounds very impressive. We had a quick chat before the show. It wasn't happening then, so I don't know what that is doing. So yeah, Adam is saying in the chat room. Oh, yeah, it's on the screen. I've tried one, has a radio and graphics card, and still can't do it. So what's happening, Adam? Is it not running at all, or is it is it running not good enough with not enough frames per second to be able to play at all. Great chat posts here in the chat room. It's odd. I'm not sure what would be doing it. I've turned off all the extra streaming software. Whatever you're doing, it's sounding like you are coming to us straight from the darkness. Yeah, so I'm lucky and happy that the stream didn't cut off in between, so I'm going to save whatever settings I have here. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any comments or questions, please post them down there in the YouTube comments. Also, if you see any issues with the audio or video, I've received a couple of warnings during the stream, which might be related to me streaming to two destinations at the same time. I'm streaming over the virtual cam into the Zoom meeting, which we're going to use more extensively in the future, and then at the same time to YouTube. So if you see any issues, any sync issues between audio and video, or any compression issues or whatever, please complain down there in the comment sections, and we're going to be mucking around with that in the future. So yeah, it stalls, says Adam, can't keep up with the frame rate. Well, yeah, that's too bad. But didn't you say you are going to get a better computer? You don't really need to invest that much money to get a computer these days that is sufficient to fly simulators. So yeah, we plan to make some big brouhaha with the live streaming virtual events, prizes, cups, and hopefully really big events in the future. I have quite a few people on board who are really keen on making this big. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining this week. I hope you got something out of this. As I said, if you have questions, post them down below, and I put it on my cards as soon as this stream is running properly, and it seems today that I'm announcing the weekly streams earlier, so that you guys get notifications earlier, and we have a little more participations in the various chat rooms, and hopefully also in the Zoom meeting. And yeah, hopefully, Super Bowl or whatever it is over next week. I have never been a fan of watching sports or watching live streams. I'm a big fan of creating them though. So hopefully we get the audience up here a little bit. I didn't check how many people we are here, but yeah, I certainly enjoyed that myself and put it on my cards that yeah, the announcing and scheduling of these streams has been a little chaotic. We fix that in the future, and yeah, you can still watch it afterwards. Thanks again for watching, and I see you on the next one.